Yo, yo, yo! Back for more Bravery Network Online. So I really wanted to take advantage of the recent, well, somewhat recent changes to Fell. Fell had a trait that was kind of buffed this last patch, and I went over it in one of my previous videos, so I won't go too much of a deep dive into Perceptive here. But really, the goal of the team, Perceptive gives a big effect when Fell switches in. So on tag in, reveal your foe's trait focus necklace and moves. Then they get a boost to their weakest, um, well, to the attack stat that hits the opponent the best. So like let's say you switch in on a Molly, you get a physical attack boost, and then your riding crop one hit KOs with this investment here. So really, I took that and said, okay, if I always lead Fell and then switch to something that can tank a hit, how do I take advantage of that? So my mind immediately thought, well, it was either Grace or Keiban. I like Keiban a little bit more on this kind of team, mostly because of the 3 batteries. I felt like Fell really enjoys having access to multiple parries and flourish options throughout the game, and Grace Captain with 1 battery just kind of felt a little bit limiting. So most of the time you're going to be leading with Fell and then switching to something that can take a hit. Keiban is the primary physical wall for the team. And put a ton of, pretty much maxed out his physical defense, and then just put the rest into emotional defense to kind of round out his defenses there. Thorn Pendant, just to deal more chip damage against physical attackers. Tenacious, lets you survive a hit when you're at full health. Sometimes it's relevant, kind of lets you switch in and get an extra charge here and there, or hit back with a blackjack, or if you're full health and they bring you down to 1, you can heart to heart for a ton of healing. I liked blackjack, just kind of extra chip damage. You could also use something like Admire here, though I guess I'm too much of a wimp to use Admire on my Keiban. I don't like buffing my opponents too much, especially with a defensive team like this. Games tend to go a little bit longer, and so I felt like with Admire, the damage you get from using Admire might not match up to the buffs you're giving your opponent. Next, Tidy and Heart to Heart. These are very much flex moves. I don't tend to use these very often. Like you could use Bandage over Heart to Heart, and maybe something like Cheer or Mentor is a good one over Tidy. This placement is on purpose to kind of bait the idea that I might have Mentor on my Keiban. So you could use Mentor and then buff the Fell sitting here. Fell is the kind of main primary offensive threat for the team. Originally I was running Flare Locket, kind of decided to switch over. I'm not sure which one's better. I'm leaning towards no necklace here. Riding Crop Fireworks unbutton, pretty standard attack spread for full coverage. And the focus here, I like to run max initiative on this Fell, just so I don't have to worry about losing to other Fell unless they also have max and they have the tiebreaker token. It also lets you speed tie max initiative Clint, I believe, with 1 unbutton. So just it just seems a little bit better on this team, especially because you are buffing your attack multiple times, and so you don't need quite as much pumped into your attack stats. Enough physical attack to 1-hit KO Molly and Zael after the Perceptive boost, and then enough digital attack. I believe that lets me KO, I want to say Sayla after the buff from Perceptive. Anyway, this whole team will be in down below in the comments. I'll have a nice little write-up that I did for the team. You can go check it out. Kind of explain some of the sets a little bit more in depth. Eric, this is a more bulky style Eric that I jacked from Web Browser. Got the idea from him. basically you max out Eric's digital defense. What Bowser I think likes to put some into emotional defense, but on this team, because my emotional defense is so high, it's relatively bulky. I got Tazu, Sayla, and Keiban. I opted to just throw it into his attack. Mellow with Disruption Wave and Rebuild lets Eric heal and support the team with pop-ups clear. Also can kind of spread sadness around and give yourself even more of a battery advantage. And then Fireworks just for damage and extra charge. Lucky Pendant for the healing. I don't value initiative on this kind of bulky Eric build too much, but you could consider it just to kind of outspeed other things. Tazu here, a little bit of speed creep, max defense to round out her defenses, and the rest into digital defense because Tazu is my primary digital switch in. Eric does a decent job, but really Tazu takes the bulk of the digital attacks coming this team's way, which otherwise is very digital weak. Backlash is nice because if you lead something like Eric into Fel into an Eric, and that Eric has Gloam Locket, which you can scout with Perceptive, then the backlash from Tazu can break that Gloam Locket after you take a hit. Pop-ups for the extra chip damage. This team generates charge like a monster, so often you can flourish pop-ups pretty easily. Bribe, because Tazu is my primary Jane switch-in. The only other thing that can kind of go toe-to-toe with Jane is Fel here, and Fel does not safely switch in on Jane. And finally, to round out the team is Sayla. Sayla gives the team some more physical and emotional bulk. Also gives a priority attack to help cover against faster things than Fel, like Cherry or Wendell. But really the primary function of Sayla on this team is to eat status effects or feelings from something like Molly or Lunch Invite Faran, and then use Round End. So Round End lets you remove all feelings, clear all feelings, stat changes, and heal 25. Then both fighters tag out. So Sayla is able to switch in, eat the feelings, get rid of them with Round End, threaten with either Claymore or Flicker Glove, and then Round End switches you out. It lets you bring Fel back in and repeat the whole process. So it seems really fun, really well balanced. I find that if I play smart, I can usually make games go long. I don't really get blown out. So it's a pretty fun team, pretty balanced team. Surprising bulk for all the strong hitters here. And like I said, I will drop a link to the team in the description below. Let's go find some matches. Alright, we're in a match against Kaz. Kaz with the Zael team. Alright, Zael's captain plan. Before you use a digital attack, your minus stats are cleared and your feelings are reduced by 1. Okay. I don't think I've really gone up against the Zael team in a very long time. As always, lead Fel. Kaz leads Zael. Let's see what Kaz is running here. Lucky Pendant. No investment in physical. Would they risk a Fireworks here? I don't know. Either way, Eric is a decent switch here. I really think they would switch out. Okay, I'm glad I didn't go for the riding crop. I'm going to go for a disruption wave here, hoping they try and set up on me. Anything that switches in doesn't really like hitting the disruption wave anyway. Okay, very good. Put Sadness on Zael. They get a Burn Bright. big boost there with that vivid trait. Alright, so from here, I'm really not doing much to Zael. I mean, fireworks chips away, but every time they fireworks me, they'll be lowering their sadness down, and then it gets really scary. I am still faster. I have to worry about another Burn Bright. Really, it's a very free fireworks for them. That being the case, it might be worth switching in my Tazu here. They're definitely faster, so I do expect them to fireworks. Which means my fireworks is not going to do, it'll do half, right? So I think I'm going to switch in Tazu here. Okay, they bring Jane, so also a good good turn for me. If Kaz is smart, they scout for bribe here. They might bring in Tazu, not Tazu, Lise to block a potential pop-ups. Either way, I think Firewall is a fine play. It kind of hits everything that switches in for good damage. Yep, as I expected, Lise comes in, block my potential pop-ups. But really, what is Lise going to do here? Not entirely sure, so I'm just going to get up pop-ups on the field. They could go for a Disruption Wave. Decent on a Zael team because you get rid of your sadness faster than the opponent does. But that's fine, I don't need my boost on Tazu. I just go for chip damage with fireworks. Here's where they might consider a Disruption Wave. I'm kind of free to just Firewall again. Mentor. Okay. Mentor onto Cherry. A little bit scary if that's something like Proxy Cherry, sitting behind a decoy. Something I might need to be worried about. Flourish Firewall does not quite get the knockout here. Really? So it's not safe to bring in Sayla here. It's not safe to bring in Fel here. Eric is a fine switch, I think. They might go for another pop-ups. Instead they go for Disruption Wave. That's okay. I don't get the full charge from it, but I think Fireworks is a pretty good move here. They might go for heart to heart. Okay, no, they'll go for the Mentor. So Cherry becoming a decent threat. I really want to get Fel in for an unbutton at some point. What would Kaz do here? I'm not sure if they want to sack Lise here because it's potentially their pop-ups clear, though it could be tidy on Keiban. Either way, Fireworks is fairly safe here. Even if Jane wants to switch in, I'll chip away. But yeah, the Kaz just choose to sack Lise. I'm glad I didn't overthink that by trying to switch in something like Sayla or Fel. What would come in here? Something that threatens Eric. Maybe Jane with bypass clause. Might even go for the setup with Cherry. Though has to be scared of Disruption Wave. What are you gonna do here, Kaz? Goes back to Zael. Probably trying to get rid of those stat downs. Faster. I kind of showed my switch into Tazu last time. I'm really scared to let them get rid of their sadness too quickly before I can get in with something faster, or with Sayla. But now I mean, it's a very free fireworks for them. Tazu has a boost, is a decent switch in this case. Yep, they go for the fireworks. Does nothing. But they're down to 3 sadness, so one more fireworks, and I'm gonna go for the flourish pop-ups here. They might just go for another fireworks. Yeah. If they do, they're putting themselves almost into fell range. Okay. So here's where I need to be careful, right? Because Eric, I think, can take one fireworks. A shriek from them might make sense here. I think I'm gonna go for the bribe. Okay, they go for the burn bright. This is actually gonna chunk Zael pretty hard here now. It's a little bit worrisome because they got the speed boost, which means fell is no longer a great answer, but I chunk pretty hard with bribe there. So the fireworks is very obvious from them. I'm just gonna go for another bribe. Honestly not sure how much this is gonna do. It knocks me out. But I didn't really have a safe switch in. I'm okay giving up Tazu there. I still have an answer to Jane with Sayla. Sayla is my only safe switch in with that Flicker Glove. Kaj should know this and switch to Jane or Keiban. Fel is a good switch in to both of those. If Kaz stays in, they are a madman and deserve to win this game. Okay, Keiban comes in. Fel comes in. Kaz is out of tenacious range with their Keiban. Blackjack, Tidy, Mentor. Okay, so they do have clear. This fireworks is very free for me. $613, big damage. All right, that's what I like to see. All right, the Kaz no longer has pop-ups clear. What comes in from Kaz's side? Cherry might come in. I believe outspeeds Fel. Though, do I have a parry? Or do they have a battery in order to flourish is what I'm worried about. They don't. They don't. 10. So Kaz can't switch out because then Zael doesn't come back in. Even if I parry, I'll still have a battery available after. But I really want to unbutton here. If I unbutton at 168, let me calc this real quick. Calc.bravery network online.team fell. I'm at max initiative. If I get a +1, I'm at 210, which means it's a speed tie. They have the pip here. They have the tiebreaker token, so they would still go first. So parrying button is not the play here. Parry riding crop is basically my only play. If they switch in Jane, I can just unbutton after. It's fine. This gives Cherry an opportunity to come in, but I now have another battery available. They are no longer in Globe. They have a battery though. So, let's see. A +2 Cherry. I have no information about what they're running. I think in this position, it's actually fairly... I'm tempted to switch in Keiban here. I think Fel dies to whatever they use. If Kaz goes for a decoy and I switch out, do I lose the game? I actually think that Eric can take, I think Eric can actually wall this Cherry even with the boosts somewhat effectively. Max, let's say they max digital with Firewall, they would only do 48 to me. So I could rebuild after that. I think it's okay to sack Fel here. If I sack Fel, I don't have an answer for Jane though, so I have to switch. Keiban's not really doing anything. Maybe living a hit. I think Zael is actually my sack here. Surprisingly. Maybe for the Flare Locket. Okay, Flare Firewall. What now? They don't have any investment in digital. Which means Eric is even better at this here. Takes 34. Yeah, I don't think they can 2-hit KO me with Firewall. They'll be boosting, but that's okay. I'm gonna switch in Eric here. You know what, maybe a Blackjack from Keiban might have been better. Yeah, in retrospect, maybe Keiban eat a hit with Tenacious and Blackjack might secure the win a little bit faster, but I'm gonna go ahead and Disruption Wave, get rid of their boosts. They can switch in Jane, that's fine. Kaz did a really good job of making sure my Fel couldn't come in safely. I mean, I guess Fel never comes in safely against a team like this with a ton of digital attacks, but it didn't allow me to get an unbutton off. Not really. Jane comes in. Gonna eat another Disruption Wave charge for me. Alright, I need to save Eric for Cherry. They have a bypass clause here. Very safe, very safe. Very safe. Does Fel live a bypass clause from Jane? Is that even a possibility? I'm not sure. Let me calc that. Bypass clause. It's very close, so I kind of want to calc it. Max attack bypass clause from Jane only does 95 max to Fell. So it's actually, funnily enough, a safe switch in from what I'm seeing. Unless they're, for some reason, Fury, which, that would be weird. I don't think it's Fury Claws. Or, yeah, Fury, Pendant, Jane. They go for the hand cannon. Okay. Not good. Good play, Kaz. Maybe that was an unnecessary risk on my part. That makes me a little worried, because now I don't know if I can bypass clause, hand cannon, rebuild Thorn Pendant. Yeah, unfortunately, I think, I mean, obviously Eric is my switch in here. I think that might be game. I mean, unless Eric can somehow tank. Like, I have to. Yeah, I think that's game. I threw away Fell. I really was expecting Kaz to bypass clause there. But good play. Probably expecting my Keiban to come in, or just wanting that buff to, or just want to do good damage, 35. Yeah, most likely expecting Keiban to come in there. Didn't want to take the Thorn Pendant damage. I don't think I can come back from this, though. That tired is significant. A parry. I mean, a bypass clause from them. I might be able to play around this. I'm gonna try for it. I'm gonna go. Yeah, no, that's game. I think that's game. Kaz really hanging on to that last battery. Can a heart-to-heart bring me back? I don't know. Blackjack for sure does not. Hand cannon, they take the 3 tired. Maybe I can do this with a flourish. Fireworks here. Might have a chance now. Alright, Jane down. Let's see if they went for the parry. If they did, their battery will be empty. No longer sad. I will be sad if I lose this match. Okay, they still have their battery. What do they do here? I'm gonna go for the disruption wave. Try and get rid of their boosts. Kaz, if they have decoy, should go for it here. Flaunt. Okay, this is going to be a big battle to the finish. Okay, that's my last disruption wave. I have 2 more fireworks. Okay, and a flourish fireworks, unless they have decoy, will get it for me. Is it worth the rebuild here? So what I'm worried about is if they have decoy, they can burn both of my fireworks. And then what I go do from there, tackle. So I kind of want to burn. If they have decoy, I still have to attack through it, so I think fireworks is the play. Okay, looks like they're going for the snub. Whew, close one. Okay, so the only way I was able to win that is because Kaz used that rebuild on Jane. Used that rebuild on Jane, made Jane tired, which meant Jane was kind of chipping away at herself. I would not have a way to kill Jane otherwise, so kind of got lucky there. Threw I fell to a bad mistake, but didn't get punished by it too much. Good game, Kaz. So I took the Flare Locket off of Fel. I felt like the immediate damage you get from having no necklace grossly, well not grossly, but really overshadows the surprise damage you sometimes get with Flare Locket, especially against lead Zael or lead Molly. Also just being able to immediately chunk Lise for a bunch of damage lets you kind of overpower those fighters right away and not have to set yourself up with a fireworks that might not be optimal early game. So I'll be back when there's a match. Alright, up against Honeyshuckle. Honeyshuckle Zael team. Man, it's the second Zael in a row with this team. That's okay. As usual, I think I'm still... Fel, I like, even though they have a Pema. I'm still want to lead for the boost here. Clint's a great lead against my team. Does not go down to one hit. Let's see what they are running. Lucky Pendant brought snacks with the ribbon twirl. So they have a safe unbutton. They have a safe ribbon twirl. I think either way, I'm just going to bring in Sayla here. Tank the ribbon twirl. Okay. And honestly, it's tempted to put a claymore in here. They could they do? Nothing really likes claymore here. I think I'm gonna go for it even though I have dizzy. Yeah, okay, I like this. So they go for the button. I chunk with claymore. So it's very tempting for me to round in here. Honeyshuckle could easily bring in Lise. And knowing that, I think I'm going to bring in my Eric. Yeah. So if I went for round in there, it would have been blocked. I would have been dizzy and would have been threatened down immediately. But in this case, I can go for a disruption wave, put an early sadness onto Lise, stop Honeyshuckle's battery gain, get my own charge in the meantime. Right, bulky Eric will tank Lise all day. I'm free to just fireworks here. Big damage. Disruption wave, okay. Key pendant, and now Honeyshuckle is forced to either switch out. I think a disruption wave for me is actually my better move in case Zael comes in. Kind of want to protect that option there. It also secures the knockout on Lise here. Okay, Honeyshuckle choosing to sack Lise. So one fighter down, and I have a huge battery advantage right now, which I like. What would Honeyshuckle bring in here? Something like Clint to threaten out Eric. Their own Eric comes in. What does that mean? That means they either have bypass clause or just want to get their own charge. I'm I want to scout for a bypass clause here, so I'm going to bring in my Tazu. I won't take too much, and I will break a potential Gloam Locket on their side. Okay, Honeyshuckle realizing they're on a battery advantage or disadvantage. Let's see. Kind of want to almost want to flourish pop-ups, but I think just going for a straight up firewall is a little bit better here. Make myself a little bit more bulky against Eric next time I want to switch in. Okay. Let's see here. A peck might be coming my way. I wouldn't expect them to burn bright immediately. Though they might do something like Deep Breath or Burn Bright. Burn Bright would actually be kind of scary, so I'm going to go with Eric here. Lullaby. That's fine. I have battery to spare. I'm very tempted to Disruption Wave first. Though I Flourish Rebuild to get rid of my own feelings. A little bit more passive. I'm gonna save my Eric, go for the Flourish Rebuild. I'm allowing them to either peck or set up on me, but yeah, they go for the Burn Bright. So I'm not too worried about that because I threatened with this Disruption Wave this next turn. They likely have something like Bomb Locket, though it would break here if they had it. So Disruption Wave, I definitely eat a Fireworks here. Okay, they are going to go for that Fireworks. Extremely confident I live this. Okay, 60. And Disruption Wave. Okay. So Zael does not have a way to really hit Tazu here. He also can't do much against Eric. They might go for a Lullaby. They're definitely... I think I would be faster in this case, so it's somewhat safe to actually go for that Fireworks here. Let's get some chip damage. Yep, they go for the Lullaby. Their Fireworks is very safe right now. I think what I want to do is bring in Tazu and Flourish pop-ups. I just need to be a little bit careful not to let them get rid of all of their sadness right away. If they Fireworks again, they will no longer be sad. But I'm free to Flourish pop-ups here. Still have a battery next turn. If they want to keep Fireworksing me, that's fine. Pop-ups on the field. So Honeyshuckle could very easily, I want to bring in Zael, very easily go for a big physical hit here, yeah. So now that Lise is gone, I am very safe to round in here. They can't do much to stop me. They can switch in something. Yeah, Honeyshuckle, realizing that's my play, gets the chip damage, kind of negating the healing I get, but I get rid of Dizzy, get back up to half, and then whatever comes in takes pop-ups damage. So I'm gonna get Fell in again. Let's see. Their Clint is actually free to come in. Because they have the tiebreaker token. I have a battery though. Emma in. Emma takes full damage from pop-ups, so most likely not resolute. I do need to be a little bit careful here. They parry. Parry Fireworks is tempting. Doesn't quite get the knockout though. Parry Unbutton sets up next turn. So Flicker Glove is most likely coming out. If Honeyshuckle predicts me to switch, Firewall is a good move. Or Haymaker. Really nothing on my team likes taking this Haymaker here. I think I'm going to go for the parry Fireworks. No, parry Unbutton so that I outspeed Clint. Okay, stop them from getting a battery. Do a ton of damage. Raise my initiative. So my Keiban coming in. I mean, they have to Flicker Glove or they kind of lose the game here. So I think it's pretty safe to bring in Keiban. They could predict it, which they do. Yep. Tenacious here. Take the Fury Pendant. Okay, so no matter what they do, they go down. Don't quite have a battery to parry though. Firewall on their side is very safe. What can I sack here? I do want to save. Actually, I think that Zael is an okay sack here. I mean, they have an obvious Flicker Glove or Firewall. Either one is a good move. Honestly, Haymaker is a fine move from them because they're going down either way. I'm gonna sack Eric here. It does not really pair up nicely against their Eric anymore, nor the rest of their fighters. Yep, they go for the Haymaker. That's fine. 4 out of 44 damage, that's a ton. Okay, they should go down from Fury Pendant. That means my Fell can come in. They'll have a battery, but so will I. Fell comes in super easily. Something takes 30, but I am now faster. Honeyshuckle, probably their best move, if I were in their place, is to bring in Clint and just switch out, kind of baiting the flourish. If they choose to do that, I think I'm still going to go for the flourish on the off chance they kind of read my read and parry anyway. Mostly because I don't lose too much. Riding Crop almost gets the KO here. I know they don't have a priority move. Actually, I have to flourish Fireworks to get the kill here because of their digital defense investment. Yeah, if I flourish, whatever comes in dies. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. I am faster. Yes, okay. Honeyshuckle either parrying there or choosing to sack Clint. Save their parry. So what comes in here now? I guess it depends on if Honeyshuckle saved their battery or not. If they don't have a battery, not too sure what they can do. Okay, they do have the battery still. So parry's very good for them. Though my Flicker Glove kind of just seals the deal here. Let's see. So even if they parry, they'll lose their battery. They won't have a full battery left. Zael can come in and Flicker Glove twice. Even if Zael goes down, Tazu can easily 1v1 Eric, so I think my move is just to Riding Crop here. Yep. So they chose not to parry, most likely predicting my switch there. And now my switch is very safe. They should parry in this position. They go out in the blaze of glory. Alright, good game, Honeyshuckle. It was a fun one. Alright, definitely had some fun games. Both against Zael, but that's okay. Kind of wish I had paired up against maybe a different team to show off the team, my team, to you guys a little bit better, kind of show how well-rounded and balanced it is. But really, take it, play with it yourself. I think you'll find it can handle pretty much anything that gets thrown at it. Sometimes struggles against Pema and Jane, or physical and digital attackers. But other than that, really fun team. Thanks for watching.